Hey guys, how y'all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic and welcome back to the channel. And today, if you guys, this is another Marvel movie review. I know it's been a little bit, but today we're tackling Doctor Strange 2, aka Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. This is going to be a non-spoiler review, so if you have not seen the film, I am seeing this on May 7th, probably posting on the 8th. So I'm assuming most of you have not seen it yet, but if you want me to do a spoiler review, it might even be at the end of this video. I don't know, depending on how I'm feeling. But yeah, so again, non-spoiler for this section of the review. So of course, Sam Raimi is directing, and of course Sam Raimi did the Spider-Man 1, 2, 3, Sam Raimi did the Sam Raimi trilogy, right? Mind blower. And then also he did the Evil Dead, and then The Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness. He did all that, and he did a little bit of the Ash versus Evil Dead show. So he's the main guy behind Evil Dead for the most part. And this is definitely, Evil Dead is 100%, for the most part, a horror franchise. Very freaking good horror franchise, but a horror franchise. And this film is being billed as a horror MCU film. And look, without spoiling, this is not a horror film. This is not a scary, holy crap, this is not a scary film at all. There are a few unsettling moments and creepy imagery, but it is nowhere near, again, maybe I'm just a badass, I don't know. But Evil Dead movies, they freaked me out, but they didn't scare me. I wasn't like, ah! You know what I mean? Like, I'm not, like, Zoinks, dude! You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like that. But it definitely has some unnerving moments, but beside the point, it's more of an action, normal, MCU film with some freaky things thrown in there. But, in the term of this film, I think that this is very well filmed, very well shot, very, well edited. It's got the classic Sam Raimi isms. If you watch the Sam Raimi trilogy of Spider-Man or any Evil Dead, you'll know that he loves these effing weird, like, morphing transitions, and he loves, like, really quick shots of, like, the camera going, like, really quick on someone, and all that stuff is in there, and it looks effing cool. Like, there are moments where I'm like, oh yeah, I can tell Sam Raimi made this, not just the horror elements, but also just the normal action scenes of the, the whatever, and it works, for sure. Now, in terms of, I guess, negatives, I would have to say that there aren't a lot, but there's a few. I think that Gargantos, that giant effing like octopus thing that the Lego set is on, that, I get it, how the hell are you going to make an octopus from outer space look normal, because we don't have any reference, you know what I mean? But it's not bad, however, it does look a bit, like the motion was, it was rendered flawlessly. Like, that was a cool effing thing, the Gargantos, but it just, the way it was moving, it felt kind of CGI, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of CGI in this film, of course, the Multiverse of Madness, right? There's that shot in the trailer where Doctor Strange and America Chavez are kind of going through different multiverses, Doctor Strange is like breaking up into different like puzzle piece freaking part things, and it looks fine, but, most Marvel movies, besides Infinity War and Endgame, and I guess No Way Home, they all have their moments where you're watching it and you're like, oh, the CGI looks freaking awesome, and then there's that one shot where you're like, yeah, that didn't look too good. That looks like poop, you know what I mean? And this movie has really good effects, both practical and CGI, but at the same time, there are moments where you're like, okay, that could have been better. There's a few backgrounds where you're like, that looks clearly like a... And I get it, CGI looks like CGI. It's a fancy cartoon. But at the same time, you'd want to make that CGI look photoreal, right? That's the freaking point of making a live-action film. Like, if you watch Avatar, which, by the way, Avatar Way of the Water trailer, looked pretty effing cool. But, Avatar 2 trailer, which I won't talk about because it's not online yet, but it is literally an animated movie with some live-action people chucked in it, you know what I mean? Marvel movies have a lot of animated content in them, but for the most part, it's, real-life stuff with some CGI thrown in there. And there is CGI in this film, like I said, there's a lot of it, and some of it looks great. However, some of the backgrounds, and of course Gargantos, that octopus thing, didn't look that great. It's not distracting, but, I have a CGI eye, so I can tell if something is really fake and bad and what is practical. I can see that. Some people, I have some friends who are like, I didn't notice that, you're freaking retarded, you're stupid, but I'm like, no, it's clearly CGI. So, again, not a deal breaker, but I had to mention it. And the reason why this film got banned in, I don't know, where some weird-ass countries, there is a... I don't want to say this film is woke. The Eternals was more woke than this. I'm just going to say it. America Chavez has two moms. They're lesbians. And look, again, I don't want to get into this that long, but you know how I stand. I don't agree with those choices. I can't do anything to change those choices. I'm just more old-fashioned that way with, the way I was raised and all that shit. That's just how it is. But it is not for people who are like, oh, this is going to be a woke movie, Democrat movie. It's not. It's not shoved down your throat like some other films and franchises out there. In fact, it's extremely quick, and it's kind of more of a heartwarming moment than it is like, oh, yeah, again, it was a bit groan-worthy. Again, as a straight dude, I don't really give a fudge about that other, those choices. But at the same time, it is what it is. But it's nothing bad, so if you were really deterred, it's nothing insane, trust me. Now, going back to that's not a negative, by the way, I just wanted to mention that. As far as actual negatives, besides like the CGI, it wasn't that bad. There really isn't anything much to, I guess, complain about. My other, I guess, reason to, and again, this is not a negative either, but it's weird, because this movie blew me away. Like, it's so freaking good, but at the same time, it's very underwhelming. And those people on Twitter and YouTube who are like, this movie, I've seen it. It'll blow your effing mind. It's gonna break the internet. You're gonna die. It is nowhere, without spoiling, this film is nowhere near what you probably expected. There are moments where I literally said yes or fudge. I didn't say fudge. I didn't scream fudge, but you know what I mean. That was weird, but it does definitely have those moments where like, wow, this is effing cool. Look, oh sweet, he's in there, nice. She's in there, nice. And there's cameos, of course. If you know, Sam Raimi likes to include certain people in his films. That person is in this film, and it's effing awesome. But definitely, it is a. Again, it's hard to say without spoiling, but when you're making a multiverse movie, there are certain, tribulations where you're like, all right, this needs to happen, and there are characters in this film that are from other universes that are in this film that are awesome, all right? I'm not trying to say this is a letdown, but they, I think, built this film up, and of course, other YouTubers and Twitter people hyped up this film to be something it's not. I think that they should have went to other multiverses besides the ones they went to. When you're making a movie about multiverses, you want to have that in there. And definitely, there are stuff in there, but this is more or less a story about Doctor Strange, America Chavez, Wanda, Scarlet Witch, and of course, Rachel McAdams' character, the whatever the fudge her name is, Doctor Strange's love interest. She is very good in this. She's better than the first one, but that in this movie, yes, it's got multiverse stuff, and it's got crazy action scenes and really creepy moments sometimes, but it's very much a story about Wanda and Stephen Strange. Those two are the focal point of this film. So if people were kind of, I guess, worried that this was just going to be a cameo city film, oh my god, they got freaking, the TMNT are in there, and they're not, Thomas the Tank Engine's here, and, Barney's here, just random crap. This is not that film. It is not, cameo, and then a little bit of plot. The plot far outweighs the cameos, and the cameos are good, but again, I did feel a little bit, underwhelmed, because they should have went to more multiverses. We should have had more cameos, and again, this is not a negative. I am not going to be, bringing this up in terms of the final score, because that's not how movies should be reviewed, right? You shouldn't review a movie based on what you wanted to see. You should review a movie based on what you got. And Star Wars sequels, you know what I mean? All the fans who wanted Snoke to be Jar Jar Binks, or Snoke was your mom, Snoke was my dog, you know what I mean? Snoke was my freaking goldfish. And then it turns out to be a clone of Palpatine. People lost their effing minds. Oh my god, that sucks! You know what I mean? That's what they did. And it kind of led to a big baby internet meltdown. And I don't want you to go into this film thinking that this is a letdown, because it's not. It's great, but there should have been more of it. But again, that's not how I review films, and that's not how anyone should review a film. I wanted to see a certain character, and that character was not in this film. Am I disappointed? Yes. But am I gonna rage bitch on the internet? No. Am I going to, give the movie a D+ because X character wasn't in it? No. That's not how I review things, and no one else should as well. So I think that, there are elements where, again, you're like, wow, this is awesome. And that character, oh my god, this is crazy. And then I also was like, I should have done that more. But, again, not going to impact the overall score. What is going to impact the overall score is the CGI. Again, could have been better in certain aspects. Other than that, though, this movie is shot awesomely. Again, horror elements. It's really not a horror film. There's a few creepy, moments, which of course I won't spoil, but definitely you could tell Sam Raimi, his Evil Dead veins are popping, and his Evil Dead, the light bulb is going off. He's like, oh, I can make that cool. You know what I mean? Like, they legitimately turn certain characters into like effing horror icons. You know, it's pretty insane what they were able to do. And, you know, I commend the film for that. I think it's got great action scenes, a pretty cool plot, great visuals for the most part, good acting. America Chavez is very good. I don't know if, you know, people are going to say, oh, well, she's a lesbian too. We don't know. I don't really give a fudge. But if people can look past the woke, which, again, it's not that bad, I think that she is a very good character. She's, you know, she's not like an amazing actress, but, you know, she's good. I wasn't sitting there like, oh, she's not that good. Or like, you know, Wanda's, you know, two children, they definitely, you know, it's not like, wow, that's really bad child acting. Like, no, they were good. They were good. And I enjoyed it. You know, I really did. I think that the beginning, again, this is a movie with action, with multiverse stuff, with a little bit of horror thrown in there. Some of the violence is very shocking. And again, I love when people on the internet are like, don't take your kiddos to see Doctor Strange. It's scary and violent. It's like, you shouldn't take your kiddos to any of the Marvel movies. Marvel is not for children, especially the MCU. I know, a shocking opinion, but they're PG-13. They are for teenagers for a reason. They're not for children. They're not for babies. They're not for 8-year-olds. They're for 13, 14 up. And this film definitely shrugs that on its, you know, it definitely struts that back. There's some moments where like, holy crap, you know what I mean? It's nothing R material, but it's, you know, if people were kind of, the MCU's getting a bit less violent, you know what I mean? Like, you know, there weren't, every MCU movie has a lot of violence in it because, again, they're not for children, but this one felt, because it's Sam Raimi and because it's more horror than the other ones, a lot of the stuff did feel more shocking, and that's a good thing. But again, at the same time, I find it really effing funny when people are like, don't take your kid, don't do it. It's like, don't take him to any of them. Like, are you stupid? You know what I mean? Are you drinking, what are you drinking, like, I don't know, beer? Are you drinking beer? You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand, like, why parents are like, this one's fine, but this one's not. It's like, none of them are. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but in my opinion, the MCU is not for children at all. It's for teenagers. PG-13! But anyway, I do think that, you know, there are moments in this where you're like, wow, this is pretty nuts. And it does really, again, relate to that, again, horror aspect. But so to conclude, I will say that I think I was a little bit disappointed, which I won't get into. But again, not going to impact the score. CGI, pretty good for the most part. Wanda and, you know, Steven, they have their own kind of arcs in this film, and it's very, very cool to see, you know, essentially point A of the arc all the way to, you know, Z of the arc, so to speak. Very cool stuff. The horror elements, these scary elements were great because Sam Raimi's doing it. Of course, he literally made one of the best horror franchises of all time. And, you know, it's got some really good cameos. It's got some really good action scenes. Really good stuff all around, and I cannot wait to see what happens in Doctor Strange 3 or whatever they do next. There are 2 after-credit scenes. One is very important. One is not. The second one, it says, like, Doctor Strange will return, you know? And then it's just, there's another end credit scene, which is kind of cool. You know, it's funny. It doesn't mean anything, but it's funny. So, again, there are 2, so don't leave, you know. But trust me, my theater was kind of packed, and not too crazy, but a little packed. And there were people, like, right effing below me, and as soon as the first one ended, they pooped off and they left. And I almost said, like, you idiots, you're not real fans. You know what I mean? Like, you have to wait till the freaking, like, the end credits are done end crediting, because there's always another one, you know what I mean? And there are 2. But I enjoyed it. I really did. I think I'm going to give Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness an A-. Again, some of the CGI kind of took me out of it. It was like, it doesn't look too crash hot. The whole woke thing, again, that does not impact the score, but it's not that bad. And, of course, the you know, the whole disappointing aspect for me personally, I'm not going to include that, of course, because, again, that's not how I review things. But, I don't know, you know, I mean, if you've seen it, don't spoil it, but maybe I'm crazy, but, again, I felt really, I wasn't disappointed to the point where I'm like, man, that was good, you know what I mean, but I'm like, I wish that character was there, or, you know, I wish they spent more time in the different multiverses than what they did. But, again, you have to make a movie, you know what I mean, if you just do cameo, you're never going to have a plot, and so I think they did a smart move, but maybe they could have gone a little bit more into it, but again, I think this is one of Sam Raimi's best films. I'm not a fan at all of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. I watch them. They're, you know, they're not like unwatchable, but I'm not a big fan of them. I'm just not. But I do think that, you know, The Evil Dead is by far all the movies, even the reboot, which is not a reboot, by the way. Shocker. It's in all of it. The show, all of it. It's all in the same canon. But you know, I think that between Evil Dead and you know, this, Sam Raimi really made a fantastic film for sure. And it is different. It's very different than most, you know, not just because it's got scary elements, but just the whole plot and the, you know, what is happening on screen is so visceral and different than what we've seen before, and it's very, very awesome to see. Anyway, I am going to, I guess, in the normal video here, I'm going to continue on with some spoilers. I was going to do a separate video, but as you guys know, I'm going to Disney and I don't have a lot of time to film. So, if you have not seen Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness and you don't want to get spoiled, thank you guys again. Give it an A-. I really enjoyed it. Cannot wait to get it on Blu-ray. And again, tell me in the comments without spoiling what you thought of it if you have seen it. Again, thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next video. If you have not seen the film, bye-bye. If you have seen the film, here we go. So I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but of course I did not see Ted Raimi. Sam Raimi's brother, who's normally in everything. Maybe he's in, I don't know. Bruce Campbell, of course, Ash Williams. Freaking awesome cameo, you know what I mean? Even the end credit scene where he goes, I'm done, it's over. That kind of thing, that's kind of cool. I wanted him to say groovy, but whatever. I think that Mr. Fantastic, now that was the thing I got spoiled by some asshole online. And I truly mean that. Like, you suck poop because you're a jerk and I don't like you. You're not my friend. It's very much a case of like, man, I didn't want to get spoiled, god darn it, but, you know, here we are. But just to see Mr. Fantastic, played by John Krasinski, is pretty freaking cool, you know, because really, the internet casted him, basically, you know. That's what they did. The whole internet's like, get John, and they're like, all right, F it, we'll get John. And he's great. Of course, he dies, but, you know, pretty cool. Again, all these characters, the whole Illuminati gets wiped out, as you know, from, of course, you know, a different multiverse. So, technically, the Fantastic Four film that is apparently coming out, you know, I'm assuming it'll still be John, but, you know, it'll be a different multiverse, whatever. But then we have, of course, Black Captain Marvel, who is, you know, Captain Marvel in the main multiverse is, of course, Carol Danvers, and her friend, the pilot, is just her friend. In this film, in this, you know, multiverse, she is the Captain Marvel, which is really cool to see. We also have Professor X from X-Men, you know, the Fox X-Men films. That's not really a spoiler because he's in the trailer. Which probably shouldn't have been in the trailer, but I still freaked out in the theater. Pretty effing cool. The fact that he just gets his neck snapped by Wanda was like, holy crap. You know, Black Bolt from Inhumans, which I believe is the same actor. I have not seen the Inhumans show. I heard it's complete dog water, but I do want to see it. You know, I'm not, I don't trust anyone but myself. So maybe I'll love it, maybe I'll hate it. Who knows? I've got to watch it eventually. But, you know, tell me in the comments down below real quick. Is it good? I don't know. But, even if you say it's trash, I'm still going to watch it, so I don't care. But, you know, I do want to see it. And the fact that, you know, he is in this at all, I didn't even see the show, but I know about him, Black Bolt. I was like, oh, shoot, like, that's cool, you know what I mean? So, those cameos were really freaking cool, and I loved them. But, again, I swear to God, Deadpool is in that effing poster. You know what I'm talking about, right? The glass shard poster? He's in there. He's doing this. He's in there, I promise. Unless, like, I'm insane, but, you know, I swear, he's in that poster. I swear. Google it. But he's not in the film, sadly. At least I didn't see him. But other than that, I'm 23 and I just got a voice crack. Other than that, I do think that when I say this movie is a little bit underwhelming, I mean that in not a, you know, like I said, like, oh my god, this sucks. But, you know, I wanted to see Deadpool. I wanted to see other, you know, I wanted to see freaking Hugh Jackman Wolverine. You know, I wanted to see Gambit. I wanted to see XYZ character, you know. And the fact that they could have shown a lot more. And I get why they didn't, because, again, they got to focus on the plot. But the fact that we got all these characters like Mr. Fantastic, Professor X, Captain Marvel, Peggy Carter from the What If show with, like, a rocket jetpack like Rico Rodriguez. Very cool stuff. And, you know, it definitely... I love what I saw. I'm not complaining. You know, oh my god, you know, I'm not a baby. I love what I saw, for sure. But again, I feel like they could have added more. But that's beside the point. Other than spoilers, that's about it. You know, Doctor Strange gets like the weird things got out of hand. That moment from the trailer, not even in the movie. But you know, the fact that he has like the third eye. Our Doctor Strange, normal Stephen Strange, 616 Strange, is. I don't know what the hell's had going on, you know. My mom's like, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know what's going on. You know, what is going on? He's got the third eye, and then the end credit scene. It looks like that girl from Eternals, Angelina Jolie. Not her. I don't know who the fudge that is. I'm going to have to do some Googling and YouTubing. I know a whole lot about Marvel, trust me. But even franchise fanatic, you know, I can falter sometimes. And I do think that, you know, I love that end credit scene. But why does he have a third eye? Don't answer this, because you'll spoil it in the comments. Don't answer me. It's rhetorical. But why does he have the third eye? And also, who the fudge is this lady? You know, jumping into portals. I don't know. But, again, that's about it for spoilers. The cameos were really cool. And I think that, the end credit scene is really nice as well with Bruce Campbell, pretty funny. And overall, great film. Very, very impressed by what they were able to do visually, and I really enjoyed it for what it was. Again, could have been more, but I'm not going to count that. And, well, the review's already over, but I didn't count that because, again, I just don't. I'm not petty. You know what I mean? Oh, Snoke should have been my mom. No, stop. You know what I mean? Anyway, I do think that for the most part, this is a great film. Can't wait to get it on Blu-ray, and I definitely want to see it again for sure. Very good film. Again, had really great action scenes, great CGI, and some of the horror, I wouldn't say it's scary, but it definitely had an unnerving aspect to it. And again, with Sam Raimi directing, I think he did a great job. Anyway, I cannot wait to see more of the MCU. I think the next one coming out is, I don't know, but we got a bunch, and I gotta watch Moon Knight too. Anyway, lots of great MCU stuff coming up. Again, this movie just keeps opening the door. Each movie, it seems, opens the door to a brand new possibility. You know what I mean? It's fantastic, and I cannot wait to see what Marvel, the MCU, does next, especially for Doctor Strange. And hopefully we'll get more Multiverse of Madness content soon, because it was madness, but in a very good way. Thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next video.